Welcome to Cozy Coven Chats with Jenny C. Bell, where we explore the journey of the witch. Hey witches, hey Cozy Coven. The name really feels appropriate right now in the colder months. My name is Jenny C. Bell, and this is for the week of December 14th. December 14th. Wow. So we're getting closer to Yule. In fact, next episode is out on Yule. And so we'll talk a little bit about preparing for winter solstice. But first up, on December 19th, we have a new moon in Sagittarius. And I don't think I've really got to talk about Sagittarius season as much as I intended. But I love Sagittarius season and Sagittarius rising and sun signs. It's so fun. Like, it's really fun energy, and it's like so needed at the time when the winter is coming and before we get into Capricorn season, which is so serious, no offense, which is also happening this week. So we have Sagittarius season, which is so lighthearted and fiery and fun and carefree. And we have this new moon where it's really about focusing on healing and fun. And like, what does fun mean to you? I spent actually like almost all of November asking myself that question. What is fun to me? And does it have to be hard? And does it have to be all day? And does it have to be expensive? And how do I bring more curiosity and joy into my life? And those kinds of questions. So those are really good questions for this new moon. New moon in Sagittarius is also good for healing. You know, what needs healing right now? What are you manifesting for healing? You might want to manifest some fun things for next year. Think of 3 fun things you'd like to do next year, places you want to go, or people you want to see, or activities you want to try, and manifest that on this new moon. It's a perfect new moon for manifesting fun adventure. So anything to do with fun or adventure. Like, let's manifest that before we get more serious, closer to New Year's, and start thinking about, okay, what's the New Year's vibe and this and that, like the heaviness of that. Let's enjoy Sagittarius. And then we go into Capricorn season pretty soon, this week actually. And actually, I think next week. Yeah, so that's just a different vibe. You know, my grandparents were both Capricorns, and they were so hardworking. It's very hardworking, very serious energy. Kind of wish it didn't come around Christmas time, because I swear I'm just so sensitive to the moon. As a Cancer rising, I always go into like overworking during Christmas and getting sick. I remember having COVID the day after Christmas a couple years ago. Like, my goal is to not do that this year. Like, I'm trying not to say yes to everything and overdo things. I did a lot of my Christmas shopping early. I'm really working on not burning myself out this year. So we have that going on. We have the King of Swords this week, which is interesting. We've had 2 cups in a row, and now we hit swords. King of Swords is this wise and righteous and justice kind of energy. I use the Modern Witch Tarot, and she's sitting with butterflies on near her crown, and sitting in this throne and just looking like such a boss. And it's this very like in your power energy. And so let's think about that this week. We're thinking about what's fun. And then we're thinking about what helps us be in our power. And whenever I get swords too, I always think about like, are there any cords I need to cut? Like, I just think that, I think at this point, because working with Archangel Michael for so long and cutting cords so often, I feel like I ask that question. So new moons are great to cut cords. So if you've never done that, there's a couple ways. So one is to take, if there's a specific person that you need to cut cords from, you take 2 candles. One represents you, one represents them. And you can even use birthday candles, okay? But they got to be pillar type taper candles. And you tie a cord between them. And I always use a dish. You need this to be in a safe place. You need to set it up in a safe way. And you can use oils and herbs and things, but in essence, one of these candles represents you, and the other represents the person. And when they burn down and the cord is burnt, the cut is happening. The cord has been cut. And what is a cord? A cord is an emotional, energetic attachment. So even if you divorce someone, or you break up with someone, or you end a friendship, or you leave a job, the energetic cords are still there. So even if you say goodbye to the person and you don't see them, the energetic cords remain. And if that person was like an energy vampire and they were like sucking your energy dry, they can still continue to do that. So you set up your candles safely on a plate. I usually like burn the bottom so they'll stand up straight on like a silver platter. You tie your cord. One represents you, one represents them. You talk about this, you say this, you anoint them. I always light my candle first because I'm the one empowered. And then I light their candle. And as it burns down, that cord is burnt and the cord is cut. So that's one way. Now, if you have multiple cords, or you're just like, I don't even know like what cords I have, doing a meditation / visualization is better. So you would get into a safe space, sacred space, sit and visualize yourself with your eyes closed and visualize cords going to your heart chakra. And they're usually attached through the back in my way of seeing it through Reiki with other people and with myself. So you'll see cords or chains sometimes or ropes attached to this heart chakra, your heart chakra. And you're just going to ask to remove the ones that are no longer serving your highest good. And just visualize them unattaching and going away. And sometimes it's kind of shocking how many come off of you. And you can do both. So maybe we're doing some cord cutting to go into this new moon energy, which would also help us have more fun. King of Swords, we're wise, we're righteous, we're in our power, we're gaining clarity. So if you need clarity, that's another thing you can ask for in this new moon. And we're in solstice energy, right? Winter solstice is here, it's coming. And we talked about last week about how we can just use what we already have in our Christmas collection. We don't have to do anything new. And so something I'd like to invite you to do this week, if you haven't already done so, is to get outside and collect some decorations. And, we never take all, and we never take more than we need, when we forage for things like this. We leave enough for the squirrels. I personally really like acorn caps because that means that someone got to eat the acorn and I'm not taking much. Acorn caps are beautiful to paint the inside, do a nice little decoration. You can make pentacles with them. You can make runes with them. So collecting that, collecting some pine cones for your tree, maybe collecting berries to string on a string and hang on your tree, especially, but not if you have pets or kids and they're not like safe for them. Stringing popcorn, like old school, collecting fresh pine boughs that have fallen and putting them on your altar or in your mantle. You don't need to buy them at the store if you live near a forest, right? But getting out there and seeing winter, like that's what I used to do when my kids were small, is for these holidays, take them to a park and be like, okay, let's find 5 signs of winter. Oh, I see a squirrel caching. I see, leaves on the ground. I found pine cones, and you can do a scavenger hunt with them. It's super fun, but you can do it for yourself. Like get outside this week, no matter how cold it is, safely. If it has to be a drive, then it's a drive, and go out and see nature and notice the changes. And you may also want to take in the sunset and notice how early the sun's setting, because we're getting to the darkest night of the year, right? Winter solstice is the darkest night of the year. So it's just getting darker and darker and darker. You might want to take note of that. And that's your assignment if you choose it for this week. That's all I have for you, because I told you I'd be a little busy during the holidays, but I want to leave you with some journal questions. So what does it mean to be righteous? Based on our card. For our new moon, what is fun for you? I want you to list 5 fun things for you to do, or 5 things you enjoy doing. 5 people you can have fun with. 5 places you enjoy going that could be fun, and 5 things you've never tried but seem fun. I'm taking you a little out of your comfort zone this week, right? Because having fun sometimes is that. It's the adventure. We gotta take all the Sagittarius energy that we can. Anyway, I hope you have a great week, and blessed be. As always, thank you for listening. Please subscribe and share with a friend. If you haven't already done so, be on the lookout for my book, Spirit Crystals. Discover your crystal guide for healing and empowerment. Available wherever you buy books.